Wow. We are live.
Yeah.
We are live. Oh, wow. Hello, 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 beautiful abundant women. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to day one of the Abundant Woman Summit 2021. Join in with your hearts. Join in with so much love and warmth. Oh my God. I am excited. Yes, women, let me see those hearts. Let me know you are here. Say hello. Are you feeling the vibe? Are you feeling the vibration? We are doing this today, now. The Abundant Woman Summit 2021. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. If we just met, or you're only getting to know me now, or you've been with me on this journey, hello, my name is Nunufang Manawalikau. I am a money and mindset coach, babes. I am here activating abundance consciousness for conscious women, spiritual women who are building spiritual-based businesses across Africa. I am here as your support system for you to create your wealth with your divine gifts. So I do celebrate you. I do celebrate the journey that you are in, and it gives me the greatest pleasure to bring you this beautiful summit that we're going to be having for the next 6 days, with beautiful, brilliant women joining us from different parts of the world, from South Africa, Kenya, London, USA, Botswana, my home country. It is going to be amazing. For the next 6 days, we're going to be having interview style master classes, where every day at 3:30 p.m., except for day 3, where we'll start at, except for day 4, we're going to start at 5:30 p.m. Every day we are going to be here having a sacred conversation around abundance, money, and whichever area that we want to look into that we know is influencing our wealth and money and our business. So yes, get ready, set, go. What you will need is your notepad and your pen for the next 6 days, because downloads are going to be coming through these beautiful women. Day 1 today, we have Nelly Resian from Kenya. She is a transformational life coach. You are about to meet her in a few. We are going to be talking understanding abundance consciousness. And then on day 2, we'll be joined by Gogong Pumi, who's going to take us through the spiritual relationship of money. Gogong Pumi is a spiritual healer. On day 3, we'll have Basako Baloy, a beautiful creative priestess who is going to be expanding on the sacral center, our womb and money. Day 5 will be joined by the lovely Agatha Aslang, a certified life coach and a fitness coach, who will be discussing manifesting abundance through authenticity. And our final day, day 6, our closing day, we will be joined by my beautiful teacher and mentor, Joy Mohami, and multidimensional oracle, who will be helping us understand, expand, and activate the multidimensional approach of money medicine. This summit is jam-packed. We are approaching the issue of money from a multidimensional dimension. And I want you to be here. I want you to be open-hearted, to be open-minded, to receive as much as you can, and to take away the teachings and apply them in your business. So welcome. Thank you. Let us, yes, in a few, we are going to be joined by Nelly, and we are going to ground ourselves, and then we will begin our beautiful conversation. Yes, so please, as we welcome Nelly, do send some hearts. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that you are holding the space energetically as a collective of abundant women. Are you here? Mark yourself present. Yes, let's do this. Nelly.
Hello.
Hello, Nelly. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, beautiful souls. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
How are you? Nelly, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It is such a pleasure to be hosting you as a woman on this path of building wealth with your building organic wealth with your divine gifts, and joining fellow women who are also doing the same. So thank you so much for being here. It is such a pleasure. Yes, I'm going to ask that we ground ourselves as we start, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm just going to do a short prayer, right? And then we will start our conversation.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome, babes. Yes. Okay, closing our eyes. Just find a quiet place. I hope you are in a quiet place as you are watching the summit. Be in a calm place where you can ground yourself. We're just going to go inwards. We can start, close your eyes, and then we'll start taking a deep breath, holding it for 3 seconds and just releasing. Breathing in that live vibrating energy. Breathing out. And I want you to start imagining that there is a crown crystal light over the top of your head, on top of your crown. And this light is moving from the top of your head to beneath your feet. It's moving through your body, and as it moves, it is expanding. See it expanding, and just feel this light moving through you, reminding you of who you are. I call in my divine, holy Mother, Father, God. I thank you for this beautiful space that you have created for me and the collective of women that are here. I call in the Holy Spirit to move in this container, to lead in this container. I ask that as we are in this conversation, as the beautiful women are part of this conversation and we're having these sacred conversations, I ask that they do not just be conversations, that they take us and connect us with the highest timelines that we can exist in, that they deeply connect us with our highest self. I ask for revelation and for wisdom that these conversations and this summit is connecting us into. And I pray for each and every woman here on her journey of creating wealth. I pray for guidance over her life. I pray for wisdom, for revelation. I pray that she takes what she is ready to receive, and that she is strengthened to go and apply the wisdom that she will receive and the messages that she will receive in these 6 days of the summit. So thank you, Divine Holy Mother, Father God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, our higher self, for the elevation, for the wisdom, and for the guidance. Amen. Yes.
That was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Nelly. Thank you so much. Nelly, welcome. Please do tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the abundant woman who is here, and also just let us know your understanding of abundance. Why are we here, Nelly? I can't wait to hear your wisdom of how you understand abundance. So yes, the floor is yours.
I'm Nelly Resian. I'm a life coach, a certified life coach. My journey has been quite, when I look back at it retrospectively, it's been an interesting journey, how I decided to become a life coach. So right now I coach individually one-on-one, and I also am a teacher of alignment. What do I mean by teacher of alignment? We are not just physical beings, we are both physical and spiritual beings. And these two parts of us have to be in harmony for us to be able to have and live that life that is fulfilling, the life that feels right. Yeah, the life that feels purposeful. So most of the time, okay, when we find ourselves on this time-space reality, we, because of the teachings and the conditionings that we've taken in as we are growing up, we veer from this alignment and this harmony, and that's why we go through suffering, and we deal with contrast in a very difficult way, to actually to say the least, to put it even as an understatement. And when I realized that we actually do have the power to bring ourselves back into alignment and take back control of our lives and guide it the way we want to, because we are deliberate creators, then I decided, this is it. I am going out there and I'm going to teach people how to come back into alignment.
Amen. Wow. Yes. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I connect with that. I connect. Yes, Nelly. So how do you understand abundance? What picture comes to you when you think of abundance or abundance consciousness, especially in relation to our journey as healers, coaches, and light workers, prophetesses, women who are operating the spiritual-based businesses and building spiritual communities to impact people, women like you. Yes.
So what is abundance? Abundance means plenty. It means unlimitedness. And when we combine abundance consciousness, it means the knowing that you have plenty, that you are unlimited. That knowing that you have this plenty, and not just plenty in money or resources. It's plenty in everything, plenty in love, plenty in joy, plenty in happiness, plenty in fulfillment, plenty in clarity, plenty in all the things that you want for yourself, because there's a reason why you moved from non-physical and came to this physical time-space reality. It is for the purpose to create, to expand, to become the best version that you can be. So when we look at it, who are we? Yeah, who are we? We are an extension of source energy. Yeah, that came to Earth and is having a human experience in this meat body, but we are still that part of us that never changes, the part of us that the core of our being is source energy. And then the physicalness is what is different about each and every, it's different and unique about each and every one of us, but the core part of us is source energy. Yeah. So what usually happens when we come into this time-space reality, we forget who we are. Yeah, we forget that we are source. And what are the attributes of source energy? Source energy is all-knowing. Yeah, source energy is unlimited. Source energy is abundant. It is natural that source is abundant. It is something. It's not even a question of worthiness. This is a fact. That is what it is. Yeah, I can go on about the attributes of source energy, but since we are focusing today on abundance. Let's talk about abundance. Yeah. So when you look at the lives that we go through, especially as women, we are conditioned to think about other people before ourselves, to put other people before ourselves. And when we think like that, we separate and we drift further and further apart from who we are. We drift further, we start flailing, and we forget who we are. We become the thing that grounds us, the thing about the part of us that never changes, the core of our being. We drift far apart from it, and then we go out there, we live a life that is full of confusion, full of lack, full of scarcity, and we tend to believe that this is how life is, or we think maybe other people are just lucky, or they were born maybe under a lucky star. That's why they are experiencing abundance. What about you? It's because you have just veered from the path, from who you are. So coming back into alignment is something that anyone can do. Yeah. And this is something that it does not matter how far off the path you drifted. It does not matter how far you've drifted. You can always come back. Yeah. And once you start coming back, you start you remember who you are. You remember how powerful you are. You become empowered. You take the wheel of your life and guide it how you want it to be. Yeah. So as women, as healers, when it takes a special place in my heart, because I have gone through this myself. Yeah. Where I have experienced lack and scarcity, and I actually did not think that I am the kind of person who can or who deserves to experience abundance. I just thought that is something for other people. Yeah. And once I found myself walking this spiritual journey, once I remembered who I am, I wanted to teach people that you can come back to who you are. That is the only thing that you need to do. Connect back with, find out who you are, connect to them, be in harmony, work with the power that creates worlds. Source energy is the one that created the whole universe from basically nothing. Yeah. Source energy is genderless, obviously, but I am going to use the pronouns he or she or it, but I am talking about the same source energy. I am even going to use the word interchangeably. Infinite intelligence or divine, we are still referring to the same energy, the original energy from which we came from.
Yes. Wow, Nelly, I really connect with what you're saying. I deeply feel that, and I love that you starting off this conversation by bringing in the concept of source, the concept of God, that we as beautiful, conscious women, this path that we're on, this journey that we're on, is actually calling in the remembrance. And I know that as we're saying this, the women will deeply resonate with this, because each and every woman who is making an impact through her life, through her business, her spiritual business, she needed to remember herself first. She needed to come into remembrance and connect with God. But why now we are here is that we're saying, please also remember be in deep awareness of the things that are available to you in this journey. You are not called to suffer. You are not called to be in pain because of journey. I say this because at times, how it looks like for the spiritual woman, for the conscious woman, how sometimes it looks like for her to end up on this journey where she is being called to come and impact the world through her healing, through her prophecy, through her coaching, through her teaching. How sometimes this happens, it comes through a little bit of pain. For me, my awakening began with me feeling deeply depressed. And I remember on this path, I'm so grateful that I had a support system, a mentor. I remember sometimes asking myself, why should I be doing this? Why me? It feels painful. It feels like it's not coming together. I feel like I am struggling. I feel like now all my traumas, all my wounds around money are coming to life. What is happening with me? And then I had to use that opportunity to say that, and remember that. But you see, here on this journey, you are not just being asked to come and serve and have an impact. You are also being asked to remember everything that is true, abundance being amongst that, to remember true love, to remember true healing, to remember true joy, to remember grace, to remember everything that was always available to you before you went through the forgetfulness. So when you are here as a spiritual woman and doing this business, I want you to always remember that you being here, you serving the world, part of it, part of the responsibility of this path is for you to be in remembrance of what is available for you. Hence why you have to take it upon to yourself to say that I actually deserve to create wealth. Why? I actually deserve to create wealth with my gifts because my divine Holy Mother Father, my source, would actually want me to have this. My source created me to have this. My source said I will never lack, that I will never run dry, that I will have everything in abundance. Me being here, I am only claiming what was always mine. I was always worth it. Right? So thank you for just activating us. I want us to speak into, therefore, now that we understand this, what is being required from this woman? What is abundance consciousness, this deep awareness that she gets to have everything that she desires and that is available for her because she's co-creating with the source? What is being required from her, even as she is creating more from herself, even as she's running her business? You could also use your own experiences. Yes.
So there's a question, a very, very important question that we need to ask ourselves as often as we can, because it is the question that when you find the answer, it grounds you. Who am I? And when you ask yourself this question, focus on the part of you that is unchanging.
Yeah.
Who am I? Yeah. When you ask yourself this question, despite whatever you are going through, who am I? So when you remember, I am an extension of source energy. I am abundant. Fill your own cup. You see, every single person, there's that part of us that is unchanging, but then there's the essence in each and every one of us that we are supposed to share with the world. Yeah. And this essence, it's the gifts that we have been given by source so that we can contribute to humanity. So when you ask yourself, who am I? I am an extension of source energy. What do I want to do? Naturally, source energy is love. Source energy wants to help. Source energy is the highest frequency of vibration. Source energy is it. So when you find that, when you ground yourself in who you are, you're taking care of your own cup. Yeah, because you cannot go out there and help other people when your cup is running dry. Yeah, there's one of the things that I have noticed and experienced is when when we look at, when we start focusing on ourselves, other people look at it as being selfish. But I want to show you the difference between self-love and selfishness. Self-love is who you are. Self-love is knowing who you are and appreciating who you are and loving who you are, because source energy is love. Selfishness, on the other side, is you putting yourself first and infringing on other people's free will to get what you want, which is, by the fact that you are infringing on other people's free will, that just makes it low vibration, and that brings about the separation between who you are and source. Yeah. So this, when you first, you have to ground yourself by loving yourself. Yeah. Ask yourself, who am I? Remind yourself, who am I? Then ground yourself in the answer that you find. Love yourself, appreciate yourself. Make sure that your cup is full first before you go and share it with other people. We have wonderful gifts. Each and every one of us has wonderful gifts. Others have the gift of seeing, the gift of healing, and the gift of healing is so broad. Actually, I think every single person is a healer, but the healing comes in very many forms. And when you find out who you are, you find out in what ways you have been given gifts that you are supposed to contribute to humanity. And once you contribute to humanity from a place of service, a place of love, then that is high vibration. You are embodying the source energy part of who you are. And once you embody who you are, then whatever experiences that come that reflect in your life match that. So when we're talking about abundance consciousness, this is how it works. This is how creation works. We have the spirit part of us, the energy part of us, and we have the physical part of us. All creation starts in the spirit realm, in the energy realm. And how we access the spirit realm is through our minds. Yeah. So if you are noticing something in your external reality that is not pleasing to you, know that it actually first happened in the spirit realm, in your consciousness, in your energy field. Yeah. So, and the good thing is the spirit realm, you can always change and create whatever you want. Most of the, so when we creation, think of it like this: the spirit realm is all etheric. Yeah, it's all energy. Yeah. So when we access the spirit realm through our minds, with the ideas that we have, with the desires that we have, and we embody it, when we know in this case that we are abundant, when we remember that we are abundant, when we feel abundant, then, and when that has become dominant enough, you have been feeling abundant for a while, so that is the energy that is dominant within you, then think of it as it starts crystallizing, or it starts becoming dense. And then after some time, it reflects, it becomes something physical that you can see, smell, touch, that you can experience with your physical senses. That is how creation works. And how it comes about, how the manifestation comes about. It comes about in many different ways. And most of the time, it's usually, I like to say, it is none of my business how it comes about, because the only work that you're supposed to do, the inner work that you're supposed to do, is cultivate the consciousness of the thing that you want to manifest. Yeah. So how does it work? How does it work? When you ask yourself, so maybe you're feeling, maybe you have bills to pay, yeah, and maybe the money that you were expecting to come in hasn't come in yet, and you are in that space of lack and scarcity. So what do? Ask again, come back to who you are. Remind yourself, who am I? I am an extension of source energy. I am abundant. My abundance does not come from the physical time-space reality. It comes from source. It is natural that source is abundant, and I am abundant. How do you know that you have changed the vibration? How do you know that you are cultivating the the abundance consciousness, you can tell by how you feel, because our emotions are guidance systems. They are our GPS. They are indicators. They let us know what is happening in the energy field. Yeah, our emotion, most of the time we do not understand the whole purpose of our emotions. Yeah, but when we understand that our emotions, they tell us, they are giving us information of what vibration we are holding at that particular time. So when you remind yourself that you are abundant, and you step into that abundance consciousness, you will feel it. You will feel abundant. You will feel free. You will feel empowered. You will feel like you will feel relief from the stress that you had before, from the consciousness of lack and scarcity. And once you do that, once you cultivate that, and when you do this, when you practice this enough, you practice it enough that this becomes your dominant vibration, then it has to reflect in your physical reality. This is one of the major spiritual laws in existence.
Yes.
And that's that is all you have to do. Yeah,
Yes.
that is all you have to do.
Yes. But I wanted to also say this. It's very important that even as we're talking about this, there is where I know, especially for us women who are in business, we can sometimes get hooked on the spiritual aspect of what abundance means, right? Of course, abundance consciousness embodies a lot of elements within it. But as you're saying this, I just want to also caution the women to say that we are not saying that you just get to be hooked into it will just manifest. It will just manifest. It's important that as we go through these emotions, the most important thing is also to learn to process your emotions so that you are able, your emotions are also going to direct you to, they're going to direct you to be able to identify where maybe there are distortions in terms of how you are co-creating with God, right? Where maybe your own shadows or your own weaknesses may be coming into play, and that thing is what is causing a trigger. So as you process, as you come into having a perspective of what could be happening here, as you process this, I want you to also always give yourself an opportunity to use your emotions as guidance as to what could be distorted in how I am actually running my business. How am I not being true to yourself? Because the beautiful thing about abundance is that it is always going to ask you to seek what is true, right? It is always going to ask you what is true for you. For example, what do you believe about yourself when it comes to money? What do you believe about yourself when it comes to your clients? Do you have issues around asking people to pay you and confidently asking to be paid, confidently charging for your services? If you have issues around that, if you're experiencing a certain type of emotion around that, abundance consciousness comes into play in the sense that we are saying, feel those emotions and also address the message that is coming through. But I also want to say this to this woman. Abundance consciousness, like Nelly has already stated, it is a consciousness where you are deeply in connection with source and you are co-creating with source. So it's very important that we also understand that it is our responsibility to assist, to do our part, basically, do our part in this co-creation, right? As you believe and you get to vibrate to vibrate in a frequency where you are able to call in the things that are available to you, to call in your wealth. I want you to also not forget that there is the aspect of practicality, where your actions also have to be in support of this journey, in support of your business, in support of your building wealth. I say this because sometimes we have this weakness. I know I had it in my journey. The honest truth is, Nelly, when I jumped into this business, most of the time, especially in the beginning, there was a part of me that definitely I was positive, I was hyped up, I was like, yay, I have everything that I desire, it's already available for me. So as I stepped into this this journey of entrepreneurship, I actually had to understand that there is the spiritual aspect of me, you know, where everything is already available, where my prayers are answered immediately, because God answers our prayers immediately. He's a God of yes and amen. Source is a God of yes, source, yes and amen. There is no maybe in terms of can we get, do you get to have this? Can you have this? There is no maybe. But we have to understand that the resistance of the programmings that we have been running beforehand, it's there. So as you focus on your business, remember that there is the spiritual aspect. But in terms of entrepreneurship and building your business, there's absolutely no difference between you and someone else who is just an entrepreneur and not on the business aspect of it. You have to understand that the principles of business, the principles of entrepreneurship, they are where they apply still as you use abundance consciousness. So use and apply abundance consciousness and embody it. Actually, you don't have to apply, embody it and see this as an added advantage, right? In the sense that you do your part, but the difference between you and someone who is probably not even aware that you can build your business with abundance consciousness and in connection to self, the difference is that you know that you are building with the vision that you actually get to have these things. And it's very important that you set a vision. It's very important that you map a way as well. Like, why are you even doing this? What is your biggest why? Why do you want wealth in the first place? Why are you creating wealth, right? One of the things that I know I felt like was required from me, right? Nelly, it was having to deeply surrender and trust, because there was a point where I felt like I was just relying on my mind and trying to figure out with my mind how to do things. Now, the beautiful part is that here you get to be in deep surrender and trust, but you also get to do your part. You also get to do your part. How you can start doing your part, I can tell you, there was a time when I was not patient. There was a time when I was not patient at all. I learned to be patient in building this business. I had to learn to be consistent. Show up every day, even when the physical doesn't look like it's in support of what you're doing. Show up, take your actions, take your inspired actions. Every day, ask yourself, how can I contribute to my business growing? Let there be that consistency so that you maintain your own vibration, so that you maintain that energy as that is connecting you with the Holy Mother Father, the source, in co-creating. Be in deep surrender, but also trust and be very consistent in how you are doing, in how you are building your wealth. I think it's just very important that we highlight that we're not saying that it takes away the work, you know?
No, thank you. No. You've mentioned something that is really, really important, and I look at it like as a second step after understanding what abundance consciousness really is. There is that which you must do every single day because you're here, the day-to-day running of the business. You have to wake up, you have to do something, you have to live your life. Yeah. So you've talked about something that is very, very important, which is the inner work. Yeah. And the practical work that you need to do. because
Yes.
you are here in this physical. You go out and you look for clients, you talk to people, and all this. When you do all this, make sure that you are doing it in alignment. So
Yeah.
since from the time we came to this physical time-space reality, we started taking in what we call beliefs, which are basically it's the programming that runs our lives. We started doing it as early as the first day we were born. We do this, and these beliefs, they get stored in our subconscious, and we take those beliefs as the truth. And the thing about beliefs is, especially when we do it when we are young, between the ages of 0 to like 7 years old, our subconscious mind is the one that is active. Our analytical conscious mind hasn't developed yet. So any conclusion you draw, no matter how ridiculous it is, you take it as the truth. So when we find ourselves, we have grown up and we have realized that there is more to life, that I do not want to suffer anymore. I do not want to live life the way I have been living anymore. When you come to realize that, yes, there's something that you can do. And this is where the inner work comes in. But the old programming, the old belief systems that you had will still, they will still come back at you and resurface and control your life. So for instance, maybe you are thinking, you're looking at your books and you're like, I haven't, when I pay all the bills I'm supposed to pay, and the money that's remaining is not even enough to do any of the things that I want to do for myself. So what do I do? Then the old programmings, the old belief systems of lack, of scarcity, they will come back. And how do you know? Our emotions, they will let you know. You will start feeling the anxiety, you will start feeling the worry, you will start feeling the frustration, the anger, the jealousy, the envy, the fear. You will feel all those things. And when that happens, because our emotions, they do guide us on what is happening in our vibration. This is when you do the inner work. You step in, you remind yourself, the conversations that you have with yourself, since you know who you are, you remind yourself, I am an extension of source energy, I am naturally abundant. So maybe when you are thinking of when you come back into alignment, and when you have this conversation with yourself, the inner work that you do, when you feel relief in your emotions, then you can tell that you are starting to come back into alignment with who you are. And from a place of alignment, then ask source, what do I do? What is the next thing that I should do? This is like, think of it as calling source energy and asking, what is the next step forward? And then source answering you. Source answers us through our intuition, and they come off like hunches or just something that you want to do. And you want to be in alignment and trusting and surrender when you are receiving intuitions and guidance from source energy. And these are the things that you do. So maybe you had planned that in your day, maybe tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go and look for clients, or maybe you need to employ employees, and maybe you need to look for a partner to work with. First, bring yourself in alignment. And from a place of alignment, then do the things and the activities that you need to do for your business. Alignment is what is important. From alignment, you will be guided. You will be guided on what to do on a practical, in the practical place. So when you work, just a minute. It's getting a bit dark. I want to put on the light.
No
It's
problem.
evening in Kenya.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Much better. Yes.
Yes. So alignment. Alignment is really find alignment first before you decide to do anything, before you take any action. align first. And then from a place of alignment, you will be inspired. You might even find that maybe you've decided that you need to advertise your business, and you are not very sure which platform to use. But once you are in alignment, you will be guided which is the best platform, which is the best way for you to go about this. Because what exactly do you want? You want to get the clients. That is the essence of your desire. Yeah. So alignment first, then guidance. Yeah. And this is where you surrender. This is where you know that source energy is within you and all around you. You know that even when you ask for this guidance, you know that you have received. So you go about your day following your hunches, and things turn out the way they're supposed to turn out. So the inner work that you're supposed to do, the inner work that we constantly do, yeah, is when you are trying to unlearn the old belief system, the consciousness of lack, the consciousness of scarcity that you took in because you did not know any better. You just, this is what you were taught. This is the conclusions that you drew. Yeah. And forgiving yourself, for allowing yourself to experience adversity. Yeah. Forgiving yourself to experience, for experiencing this adversity and healing from it, and then stepping into the abundance person that you are.
Yes.
The inner work, the healing. This is how you heal yourself.
Yeah, Nelly, as you talk about, oh, by the way, please do type in any questions that you may be having as we are having this conversation. I'll make sure that we create time for those questions. Any revelations or questions that you may be having, please do type them in the comment section, and then we will answer them in just a bit. But I wanted to say this, it's very important also that I know my path required me to, I had to come to a deep truth that the honest truth is, I, as a woman, as a young woman, I have not been programmed to receive wealth or to create wealth. It goes beyond just me, the collective, the society that you were in. So as I say this to my fellow women, to say this, you have to come into truth that the honest truth is, as Nelly, you're talking about beliefs, you are reminding me that we really have not been programmed to understand wealth, to understand abundance. And that's why maybe we may be having these struggles, right? So I know my business required me to come to this truth that I know I have lived most of my life on survival mode. I've lived most of my life not really understanding wealth, not really understanding abundance or what is available for me. Once you come into this truth, I ask that, you get to embrace it and also get to understand that this also means that sometimes in your journey of creating wealth, it will also feel like you are literally going against the things that you know, right? So it's also going to ask you to be open to that. The things that you know, you have to allow yourself to go against the norm. And one of the ways that I know that I had to go against the norm, Nelly, in my journey, first and foremost, I would say that I'm one person who really struggled with receiving. And I know this is a struggle that many women have. I struggled with receiving support. I struggled with receiving money. I struggled with receiving, the love and encouragement that I needed. And because at the back of my mind, it felt like I should have it together. As a woman, you should have it together. You should be able to make things work. So I was being initiated in this business to say that you have to learn to accept help. And it reflected so much arrogance that I didn't even know was there, in the sense that, wow, I just used to feel like it will be a burden if I get to receive help from my friends and my family. I felt like I should be responsible. So sometimes in your business, when you realize that you have this deep programming, that you know what, you have to have it all figured out, you have to have it together, understand that it is actually a distortion and it is a programming. You are being asked to learn to receive the way I was being asked to receive, because in me knowing how to receive, I then became open to now knowing how to receive love, knowing how to receive money, knowing how to receive clients, which is something, honestly, I struggled for a whole year in my business. I struggled with this, and it was being reflected because abundance consciousness was like, I am not going to allow you to keep living in this falsehood of feeling like you have to have it together. It will also seem like you can't be in falsehood of thinking that because you're a woman, because you're creating your wealth, then it has to be perfect from day one. So do it even when it does not feel perfect. That's one thing I also learned. I also had to, okay, my lessons mostly were about money because I'm a money coach, but I would love to also hear your perspective. One of the things that also I had to really, really learn to do is pay for services with love, with joy, with happiness. It was such a struggle. But when you are in this consciousness, when you apply this in your business, and when you embody it, I know this, it is going to ask you to also learn to. In as much as we want to receive, it is easier to, oh, I want my business to grow. I want to have so many clients. I want to be able to have money. I want to be able to create wealth. However, it's important that you also you are also comfortable with giving. You're comfortable with rewarding those around you, those who are helpful to you. You are comfortable with paying for services. You cannot ask for something that you wouldn't do. If you right now in your spiritual business feel like, there's no way I can pay someone this much for a services, trust me, you will experience the same resistance now when it comes to now people having to pay you that amount if you get to decide to charge it. So it's one of those things that we also get to remember, that in as much as we're trying to receive, you also have to be a joyful payer, or someone who pays for services. What are some of the lessons that you have experienced in your business as in relevance to you manifesting or living a life of abundance? What are some of the lessons that you've gotten to see as a woman in this business?
You have talked about one of the most important laws, is the law of give and receive. Yeah. And that is actually something I also struggled with. You see, the law of give and receive is supposed to be in flow, give and receive. Yeah. And when you do not want to receive, when you put resistance on receiving, you're putting a blockage on the flow. So meaning it is not coming to you, and you giving the people, and it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have necessarily have to be money that you are giving. You're giving your time, you're giving your gifts, sharing your gifts. This law is supposed to be in flow. So when you are not receiving, you are putting a blockage on this. And this is something, one of the beliefs that you have to heal from. Yeah. And the other thing that you've also mentioned is, and I'd like, one of the biggest lessons is, what is your relationship with money? Yeah. How do you pay your bills? Do you have to, when you're writing the check, when you're paying the bills, is it from a place of, now that I am paying this, I do not have much left. I hope that client that promised you he was going to start sessions, I hope they're going to come. From what place, what relationship do you have with money? Because if you have that constraint and that the discomfort with when you are giving, then that is exactly what you are going to attract. You're going to attract clients who do not want to pay. You're going to attract clients who do not want to let go and pay for your services. Yeah, what you believe, what you think is what you receive. So this is again, it reminds me of alignment is very, very important. So every single time right now when I'm paying my bills, I am thankful. I am thankful that I am able to actually pay for these bills. It's a good thing to pay for the bills that I am paying.
Yes.
The other thing is, do not despise the time when you are receiving even money that is not, that you feel is not so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate. Thank you. So even when there was a time when I was starting out, and I used to charge very little for my sessions, and that talked about what the worth that I felt about the gifts that I'm giving. It was communicating what I felt about myself. It was communicate. There was all that, yeah. And
yeah.
I never liked it. Yeah, how I was receiving my abundance, I did not like it. And I continued to attract clients and people. And actually, some clients would promise that they are going to pay, but they turns out that they will not pay. In future, they do not pay. They take the services, but they just leave. Or others, when you get a client, you tell them, this is how much I charge for the sessions, but they want to haggle to like the lowest price, and it just becomes stressful when you're working with the client. Even you yourself, you're feeling, this is too much. This is not worth my time. It's not enough. So I had to change that. It's from, I was coming, these were the limiting beliefs that were resurfacing. They were showing themselves, and they were coming in form of, I was feeling the frustration. Again, remember, our emotions are our guidance system. So So every single time you're experiencing a negative emotion, ask yourself why. Why am I feeling like this? And then uncover, take a look at that limiting belief that is trying to resurface, trying to run your life at that particular moment. Yeah. So I started thanking even the little money that I was getting from the clients. Yeah, this is a good thing. I am actually getting paid for my services. I am receiving an income. It's a good thing. I used to also get my abundance from, it was more than just the life coaching business. And in the past, I used to despise getting my abundance from that particular avenue. But I decided I am going to let that go, because I felt like I was not standing on my own 2 feet. I should not be receiving abundance from this avenue. I wanted to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. But at that particular time, I was not standing on my own 2 feet, and that was okay. So I started thanking the fact that this is another avenue that I am receiving my abundance from. It is not what I want, but I am working towards receiving my abundance, making my own money that I feel proud of. Yeah. And once when you do this, you're starting to change the vibration. And once you start receiving, and you say, I am opening myself up to receiving abundance from different avenues. Yeah. So do not despise, and even though it's not coming in the amount that you want, the abundance that is coming is not enough, do not despise it. Sometimes that is the sign that is showing you that big things are coming, because you continue to work on yourself, you continue to heal, you continue to reprogram yourself from these limiting beliefs that you used to hold. Yeah. So be very thankful for the way you are receiving abundance right now. Know that you are abundant. Yeah. It's like stepping away from the consciousness of lack, stepping into the consciousness of abundance. Every single day, every single time the negative thoughts come that remind you of the lack that you are experiencing, the lack that is showing up in your physical reality, remind yourself. Have a conversation with yourself, reminding you who you are. Yeah. I did this for quite a while. I did this for I do not want to give a specific time period, because I do not want people to think that it takes this particular time period for the abundance to start reflecting in your physical reality. But the point is, it is something that you continuously do. It is the inner work that you continuously do. You continue, even though there was a time I did not have clients for like 3 months, and this was a few months after I had decided that I wanted to do coaching full time. I did not receive clients this whole time. I was doing advertising, it was not working. I was trying to call people who I had sessions with to refer me. I was trying every single thing. But you know what? I was doing these things from a place of misalignment because I was anxious, I was worried. So that is exactly what was reflecting in my reality. And then I start, after the very last time I did an advertisement of my services, it was very stressful. I just told God, you know what? I am tired of looking for clients. I am tired of clients. You bring me clients. I do not know how you're going to do it. I actually did not have an idea of how the clients were going to come to me. I told you bring me the clients. And I stayed in that state. I stayed in that surrender. It's like I unburdened myself to God. You see, what you're supposed, there is the work that you do, and there's the work that Source does. Yeah. So for you, your work is alignment. Your work is having these desires, because that is why you came to this physical. Because if you had just stayed in energy form, you have everything that you want. You think you want anything that you want, it manifests immediately, because that is how the energy realm works. But you coming to this physical time, it was for your own expansion. So you are supposed to work in harmony, and your work is alignment. So I told God, yeah, you know what? I am not doing this anymore. It is very stressful. It is not bringing results, and let's do it a different way. You bring me. 2 months later, a client who had promised to take in the coaching sessions texted me, and they told me, hey, I saw this this particular website, a directory for life coaches, and I think you can have a look at it. I did not see your name there. You can have a look at it. And I before that, I had actually researched. I had tried to do some research about a directory of coaches. I wanted to join a community of coaches, but I actually could not find any that was actually I felt worthy joining. But then this particular guy, they sent me the name of the website, and I registered, and I just chill. At this time, it was 2 months after I had told God, by the way, now you bring me clients. And when I put myself out there, clients started finding me. I had no idea that this was how it was going to happen. Even if I did not know that this client who refused, who did not, was not true to his word, and they just suddenly just disappeared, and they had promised that they were going to start taking in the sessions. This client was the golden link to this the manifestation of the desire that I want. Right now, I can say that 90% of my clients are the ones who come to me. Somehow, either referral, or they find me on that coaching website, or they Google me, they find me. Yeah. But I do that you do that from a place of alignment. Yeah. Because who are you? Who are you? You are an extension of source energy. You have access to the power that creates worlds. And this, what I am talking about, this where clients are finding, this is child's play. There's so much more. There's so much more we can do. There's so much more opening. And then once I actually manifested this, it built up my self-worth and my courage into even kind of pricing for I am giving out for my services.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, you see, it's like a ripple effect. It's affecting everything else. It was affecting myself. I improved myself. Now I feel the services that I offer are life-changing. I know that, and I charge what I feel is right for me. Yeah. So this I welcomed it. It was a process of beautiful unfolding. We always have guidance. That is something that we always have to remember. We always have guidance within us. Source wants the best for us. Source wants us to live the best life that we can have access to. Yeah.
We are
so always guiding us.
That is such a powerful story. That is so powerful. Yes, I really feel you on that, and I'm so glad it worked out. I can imagine that you realize that I cannot just do and rely on myself to think that I am the one who's going to make things happen. I am connected to source, and I get to do my part, but allow source to also help and support me in my part. I love that. And as you're saying this, I just want to say this. What's beautiful is this: on our journey, the most honorable thing you can do for yourself, is be the type of person who doesn't just look at the physical. For example, look at your bank account and just decide that, well, this is a limitation. This means that I can only do this. Sometimes we'll be required to take the steps, and then everything else that you have been desiring will come after. Like where you consistently are not seeing the evidence, but you are in this. You're like, I own this. I own that. You said something like, you are impacting people. You have to own this fact. Own it, and really get to a point where you truly understand the worth that the work that you're doing, and your worth, and how much you are impacting, the universe by playing a role, how much you are assisting the universe and God. And therefore the reward is inevitable, right? So we don't get to look at the physical. Don't look at just your bank account and think that, okay, this defines me. Sometimes you have to understand that whatever you're moving through is just in the now. It's so temporary. It does not define what happens next. And really know that the rewards are coming, even when you're not seeing the physical. And I'm not saying that we should take risks without really trying to be practical about things, but there is that level of faith that you need to have in this part, where you get to say that I may not be seeing the evidence, I may not see the money, I may not be seeing the money now, but this is just temporary, because I know that on this path, I know that I deserve abundance, and I am connected to God, who understands that I deserve abundance, and it is all happening in my good. So when things are happening, understand that everything else, even when it seems negative, it's happening for you. It's happening for you. I know the struggle is always just us being attached to how it looks like for now. I definitely had that struggle of how it looks like for now, but in understanding that, hey, it's already available, it becomes helpful to move through that. Yes. Yes, one thing that I also wanted to say, what I love and what I have also come to accept, that things that you also get to understand about this is your true self. I had a conversation, and this is a conversation I've had with many women, and even a woman I've worked with. So there is where sometimes she will say, but I really love shopping. I really love spending money on luxury. I really love doing all the nicest things. And sometimes we think that actually, when you are creating wealth, it means that you have to sacrifice yourself. And I want to say this: the reason why you are here on this path, you are here building for yourself, is so that you don't live your life where you are in constant sacrificial mode, where you're in constant survival mode and denying yourself the things that you know that you want, right? So I got to have this lesson to say that actually I do this so that I get to one day be in the, in the luxury that I want. I recently joined Instagram and I am so turned on by the luxury that I keep seeing. So this is why I'm bringing this up, that what, it's very important that we also recognize the things that we want that really turns us on. And that should also be the motivation to say that I get to wait for what belongs to me. I get to wait for what I deserve. And I get to be in deep surrender of that. Yes.
Wonderful. Well put. Well put. Well put. And just to add on that, we can actually have it all. Yeah, we are not supposed to sacrifice anything for anything. We can have it all. That is what abundance means. Coming up, the unlimitedness. Yeah, you do not have to sacrifice anything. And we are multidimensional beings. Sometimes when you look at the 3D, the third dimensional reality, and it is not very pleasing. Step into the fourth dimensional reality where you have everything that you desire, and from that place, you know that if you have an understanding of how creation works, it starts in the energy realm and then it manifests in the physical. So you just know it will just take some time for it to manifest, but it is already in existence. So manifestation is inevitable. Well, the only thing that you have to do is get out of your own way. Yeah. You do your work of alignment, allow Source to do his part. And his part is actually the hardest part. Yeah. We're actually supposed to have it very easy. Alignment is the only thing that we're supposed to be doing. Source is the one we're supposed to do the difficult, the heavy lifting. That is the source's part. And then for us to allow Source to guide us to inspired action, so that we can the manifestation can just unfold very well with ease and flow. Yeah, it's not supposed to be difficult. If you're feeling that it is difficult, then you know that you're not in alignment. But if it is unfolding step by step with ease and flow, then you know that you are in alignment. Yeah, and the manifestation is inevitable. We are multidimensional beings.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Patient. It's really important that you are patient with yourself. Be patient and be ready to receive. I'm just checking.
And allow yourself to receive.
Yes. I'm checking if there are any questions. I'm not seeing any questions. It looks like we don't have questions for today. Yes, but I know that if we have questions later, definitely I will come back to yes, to attend to those questions. Okay, here's a question. What are some of the limiting beliefs that are connected to spirituality that you saw inside your spiritual business, and how did you practically move through them? Yes, some of the limiting beliefs that are connected to your spirituality that you saw inside your business, and how did you practically move through them? Yes.
Wow.
And so question, what are some I think it's a rephrased part. What are some of the limiting beliefs that are connected to spirituality? Okay, yes, it's actually the same question. Yes, the limiting beliefs that are connected to your, yes.
Okay, some of the limiting beliefs that I have had to unlearn was first my self-worth, learning that I am worthy, and actually knowing that I am an extension of Source energy, that worthiness is not even in question. Yeah, the fact that I want what I want is enough. Yeah, so one of the ones the limiting beliefs that I worked on was self-worth, and thinking that it is hard, that it has to be hard to become successful or to receive abundance. Yeah, that you have to that the process has to be linear. Yeah, that I have to do it on my own. This is something that I struggled with for a long time, because I was not proud of myself. I felt myself lacking. I felt like I should have already done this. I should have already manifested this by the time I was where I was. So what other thing? Thinking that it's hard, thinking that it has to go a certain way, the linear way, and I had to understand that you have to work in harmony with source energy. If you do it by yourself, you are going to end up being burnt out. You are going to end up tired and frustrated and angry, and you're going to go back to thinking things don't really work, and this is just woo-woo nonsense spirituality. Yeah.
Yes.
And
I the linear programming. It's something that I also recognized myself as a limiting belief. The idea that in my business, I am going to move like this, then after this stage will come. I will make this amount of money today, and then only make this amount. Like, for example, this is something that I know is a weakness for us when it comes to pricing for our services, whereby you just believe that if your services are 1,000, right? Let's use US dollars just so that everyone is on the same level. If my services are 1,000 US dollars, then the belief is that, since the belief from the linear programming is that it means that my only increase can be to 1,200. Then it means I have to wait probably for a year. Next year, I'll increase to 1,400. This does not match how diverse and how multidimensional you are, and how expansive you are, and how much you are upgrading and yeah, it really is a limiting belief that we have. This idea, sometimes looking at how much you have expanded or you have grown, or how much impact your business is making, how much impact your work is making. Let me not say business, your work and your calling and your service. It's okay to move from 1,000 and then understand that, well, I can actually, looking at certain factors, looking at how the business is growing, looking at my life, I can move to 2,000. We have this limitation that God can only do little steps by little steps. And also for me, it was also about, when you speak about the linear, I'm reminded that I had this thing where I just felt like, so for me, I have to wait to desire a relationship, to desire marriage and kids. In the meantime, I can only do my business. I can only focus on this one thing. And in moving through that, I then had to change that to say that I actually am available to true love. I'm available to marrying the love of my life. I'm available to expansion, to traveling, to different things that I want. However, maybe I can take my time now, looking at that. I want to heal myself, heal my inner wounds. I can take my time, but in terms of my field, I do not get to block that. If source says it is time, I'm bringing your divine partner, let me not block myself because I'm thinking that it's so linear. I'm only figuring out my business. I'm only doing my business just now, you know? Yeah. And I know it's a thing we can do. So it's just, it's a really deep way of limiting ourselves, the linear programming, when actually we can always have this and this and this and this. Yes.
You can have it all. You can have it all. We can have it all. This is a mantra that I repeat to myself every single day. I can have it all. All my desires are valid. Why do I have this? Where do my desires come from? My desires come from the life that I have lived. From this life, from the contrast, I have birthed desires, and these desires are valid. Just the fact that something is enough.
Yes.
Enough. And I can have it all.
Mm. Nelly, in conclusion, what are your last words regarding abundance consciousness, regarding everything that we've talked about? What is the one thing that you want the abundant woman to remember? And also, as you do that, please do share with us how we can contact you, how someone can work with you, and what is your offering. Yes.
What I would love to leave you beautiful souls, healers, and all the light workers is that you are not alone. You have never been alone. Even when you felt that you are alone, you have never been alone. Yeah, you always have source within you and all around you. And source is always at your beck and call. Can you imagine that? Yeah, can you imagine that? Source is always wanting to clear your path for you so that you can walk in your high heels very comfortably, not walking on rough ground. Source wants to do that for you. You only have to allow him to do that for you. And how do you do that? By aligning with him. Intention. Yeah, having that intent that from today henceforth, I do not want to walk alone. And trust me, it's going to be pretty easy once you start leveraging on the power that creates worlds. Yeah, so that you're tuning to this power. That is how you go about it. Tune into this power, and you do your part. And your part is alignment and inspired action. And then you will manifest the abundance that is who you are. And do not worry, you always have guidance. You always have guidance. Yeah. And maybe what worked for someone else might not really work for you. You are your own unique individual. Know that, appreciate that, love that about yourself. Let source guide you from where you are. Let me use this analogy. See, when you're following your GPS and maybe you take the wrong turn and you find yourself at a different place, and then you click recalculate, it usually guides you from where you are. So it does not matter how far you veered from alignment with who you are. Source is always ready and willing to guide you from where you are. So it does not matter how far off you veered or you've drifted from alignment. You just set the intention that this is what you want for yourself, and then allow yourself to be guided. You are always you always have access to the receiving mode of the guidance of source. And if you are guided to come to me to help you become a better version of yourself, to help you to support you in your cultivation of abundance, just Google Nelly Resian. My profile will pop up on the Numi directory, but also you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. My page is Mind and Soul Garage. Mind and Soul Garage. So just DM me and I will get back to you, and I will do everything. I will share my gifts with you, help you come back into alignment, help you come back into the high vibrational being that you are, and step into embody the abundant being that you are.
Amen. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna say anything because I laughed that the way you just concluded. And yes, it is just beautiful. Thank you so much for honoring the call, Nelly. It has been so beautiful. I definitely know that you made an impact on the women who are part of the space, the women who are going to be watching this later even, they'll definitely be impacted and yes, get to be inspired by your wisdom. Thank you so much for being here. I loved it. I connected with you day one, so I'm really was expecting this conversation to flow, and it actually did that. So thank you. It's been such a pleasure To the Abundant Women, I'll see you tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. where we will be graced by the presence of Gogonkosi, and we'll be talking spiritual relationship with money. So please do come. Please do be in attendance, and yes, bring your open hearts again tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and see you. Bye-bye.